look at our little friends here. Figured I'd start with this absolutely beautiful scene, being as we're going to be talking about what's going on in the world right now. Operation Epic Fury. You know, it's unbelievable to me that 2026 and humanity has not changed at all as far as its level of consciousness, its spirituality. It is still at absolute base level because they can live in this realm, the masses can live in this realm where you have this level of beauty around you. And you know that it's the way it's supposed to be because it speaks to you when you're in it. There's a reason why people feel calm at the ocean. There's a reason why people feel calm in a forest, because it's our natural setting. It is the actual real world. It is what we're supposed to have. What's going on? It's what we are supposed to have a deep relationship with. But we don't. But we don't. And all the while, we are surrounded by our actual home, the beauty of it, even though it's still just remnants of what it used to be, we're surrounded by it. We can feel the peace from it. But the masses go right back into ignoring what's taking place in an effort to destroy all that we find peace in. I mean, think about the fact that this world is currently not on fire when everyone was just told that, oh, your politicians, the ones that choose how you live your life, the one that steal 30 to 40 to 50% of your paycheck, the ones that decide if we're going to go to war or not go to war based on the resources that they need or the ancient belief system that they may have. Those pieces of shit, the ones that you have to ask permission to drive or travel by having a passport or a driver's license, those same pieces of shit, the ones that we have to be quote unquote obedient to, oh, they're pedophiles. They have a child trafficking and child mutilation and child rape and child torture and child trafficking way of living. That is their whole essence. Children, by far, are the number one currency of this world. And your politicians, the one the masses vote for, oh, they all love to destroy the lives of the innocent. And yet the world does nothing. Here's an arrest here, here's an arrest there. Every single politician's involved. Yes, all of your favorite daddy Trump, all of you out there in internet world, if you ever see this, the ones of you that love your daddy Trump so much, he's involved. He is not who he says he is. He is not who you think he is. He is not even a human as you perceive a human to be. And yet the world has done nothing. And here we are. Operation Epic Fury is underway. The greater Israeli project moves one step closer to being finished and completed. And the US and Israel are striking Iran as we speak. Preemptive strikes, of course, it's always preemptive. Weapons of mass destruction, we got to go in. Oh, sorry, they didn't have any. Assad is gassing his people. We got to go in and save them. Oh, sorry, wrong information. Because we have to take out Libya, we have to take out Syria, we have to take out Iran, we have to take control of the Ukraine, we have to take control of that whole area of the world for the greater Israeli project. So we need excuses as to why we must destroy the lives of these people. We need excuses and new laws as to why we have the right to genocide the Palestinians and execute prisoners after X amount of days. We need to make up excuses for this. So here we are, Operation Epic Fury, something that Israel has been wanting for so long, long before I was alive. They have been wanting to take that land. They have been wanting to get that final piece out of the way. And I hope to God the people of Iran rain hell. Oh, they're eating each other's food. That's funny. I hope to God the people of Iran strike back. Because you see the videos coming out of Iran, you see the footage. They're fine. You don't launch preemptive attacks, to sustain peace. You don't kill and murder to sustain peace. Because I'm pretty sure if you want to be peaceful, as Krishnamurti would always say, you want to be peaceful? Live peacefully. If you want peace, you can't go about it by bombing and killing and murdering and stealing and raping another people. But yet people believe it. People are praying for the military to be safe. Fuck you. The military should be taking off their little uniforms, standing down, and saying, yeah, we're good. We're done fighting wars for Israel. We are done being controlled by AIPAC. We are done living in a Zog-occupied country, and we are done with allowing Israel and their orgs and their NGOs, the ADL, the SPLC, HIAS, and all these people to destroy the West through forced mass immigration. We are finished with it all. We are all going to heal this country and heal the West, and you all are going to go to your countries and you're going to heal your fucking countries, and we're going to learn how to be conscious spiritual beings, and we're going to work to fucking together to live in a symbiotic relationship with this earth. Because that's the way human beings are supposed to function. Think about the beauty of what we have here. Think about it. And granted, like I always say, these are just the remnants of what we used to have. These are just the remnants. But there's a reason why it feels so good. Because it's our home. Personally, I am a beach bum at heart. Living by the ocean for so many years, I much prefer that than being around the mountains, because I'm not a fan of the cold. But still, regardless, whatever your disposition feels at home in, there's a reason why. Because it's your home, for God's sake. Not to be under LED fluorescent lighting, eating chemically laden food and fluoridated water, taking injection after injection after injection and calling yourself healthy while popping pills. Get fucking real. What are we doing? What are we doing? Chemtrails being shot all over the fucking place. Right here, we'll just follow it up. And you can see it. And he's going right in front of the sun. Long straight line right there. Thank you very little, you piece of shit. That's the whole thing, you know, the whole spiritual community, the whole new age community. You can't be spiritual if you have these types of thoughts. You're supposed to meditate above it all. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. This is your reality. And if you don't have righteous fury, righteous indignation when thinking about and observing about what this realm is going through and what these politicians, these fucking bankers, what BlackRock is up to, what they're doing with the erasure of Western civilization and European genetics, what they are doing with the erasure of owning property, making it impossible for all of these things. What the fuck is this car doing? All right, I have not seen this before. Let's see what's going on here. We got a car driving on the walking path. You can see it in the distance coming this way. That's interesting. So we're going to go ahead and get behind. They're going to scare away these horses too. That's genius. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with people that are so selfish and so just ridiculous, where they have no respect for nature. They could easily get out of their car and walk this path. There's no reason to drive it. But anyway, we're surrounded by this beauty all of the time. All of it. And now we are dealing in 2026 with yet another war. The wars never stop. What is it? I think the U.S. has been at war every single year it's been in existence. And here we are again. And here we are again. You don't create peace by attacking other countries. You don't create peace by allowing yourself to be dictated to by pedophiles and child torturers, child rapists, child murderers. You don't get to create peace while worshiping the police and the military, who at every single moment of their existence when they're wearing those uniforms, especially the police, are stealing your freedom from you. You don't get to do that. Oh, look at these guys. Just flying away. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what this dude's purpose is here, bringing his car back here, but people will always act in strange ways. You know, it's hard to see common decency these days. It really is. But the horses stayed, so that's good. They were unbothered by it. They're pretty domesticated. I mean, you can pet some of them. You can get up close and feed them carrots and pet them and stuff, but they should be undisturbed. You shouldn't be having cars down here in this region. There's no reason for it. But anyway, back to Operation Epic Fury. So we have to keep our head on a swivel now because we are approaching the season of sacrifice, which is a time period in which, when you look throughout history, this is information that Mark Passio brought forth. I always try to give credit where credit's due. The season of sacrifice, which is, there's a time period up until May 1st, May Day, the high holiday, where if you look throughout history, wars, mass shootings, the beginning of wars, a lot of historic events took place during this season of sacrifice because the people that are controlling this reality, this realm, they have a belief system, and it doesn't matter if we believe it or not, they still act upon it, in which they must shed blood at this time because they know that it's the beginning of the new year. So they need to do a blood sacrifice to offer to their God, which in turn will give them a fruitful harvest come fall. So they need to drench the soil with blood. That is what they are doing. Go look throughout history how many events, major events, have taken place throughout the very end of February, April, and March. Sorry, looking at these horses. And your mind will be blown how many have taken place in this time frame. The very end of February, March, April to May 1st. It's quite interesting. And then you can look around the days of September 10th and September 11th. That's another day that they love to do things on. Why? Same reason why they made 911 the number to dial when there's a stressful event taking place, when there's a death, a murder, or somebody's in distress. Because all of the biblical scholars will tell you that most likely the figure of Jesus was born in September, most likely September 11th. And so they want to, as a mockery and as an energy suck, put as much negativity on that day as possible. Hence 911. Hence September 11th. This realm is insane. It really is. Because you can feel what makes you feel good as a human, and you know it's similar for others. And it's typically the natural world, right? You know, you have the people that love to escape into casinos and video games and sports bars. But those are, you know, affectionately known as NPCs. Those are not real people. They have decided to forfeit their spirit and be a part of this realm. They need the shiny light. They are suffering so deeply, psychologically and spiritually, that they must numb it with alcohol. The amount of people that buy alcohol, every Saturday morning I go to the same gas station, and the amount of people buying alcohol to start their weekend is fucking mind-blowing to me. Some of which the people still look drunk from the night before. But so many, I mean, that's what these people are doing, the NPCs are doing, because they are suffering so deeply. They are drinking, they are going to casinos, they are going to sports bars, they are watching sports all day on TV, they are fucking grown men playing video games, you name it. But for the most part, a actual rooted human being, spiritual being, finds solace in nature, whether it's the beach, the forest, whatever. And that's what we have to do, unfortunately, while simultaneously keeping our head on a swivel, because with these attacks on Iran, there's a good chance there's going to be sleeper cells, and there's going to be false flags, so there's more reason to keep the war going. So you just got to keep your head on a swivel, maybe not go to big concerts or big events where they like to do shit like they did in Vegas a couple years back, right? Where they had the mass shooting in Vegas, the false flag. Or you know, a false flag doesn't always mean that no one dies. You know, there are plenty of false flags where they are completely orchestrated, but there are some where they are, you can think of it either Manchurian Candidate types or just straight up guns for hire, which is very, very common. You see police during protests, during peaceful protests, you'll see police dressed as civilians, and they'll go in there and they'll start the violence because they need the violence to bring in the tyranny. They need the chaos to bring in the overhanded response. So you'll see police throwing bricks or causing fires or whatever it is to start the violence. So we're going to have to keep our head on a swivel for the time being, because who knows what's going to happen from this. Because, you know, we can't just live in a world where we get to hang out with these guys. We get to have dogs and goats and cats running around, hang out with horses and cows. We can't have that world. We can't be swimming in the ocean with the dolphins just outside of our reach. That used to be what I was, when I lived in North Florida, and I'd go to the beach in the morning, I'd be out there swimming and dolphins would be within an arm's reach. It was just so unbelievably beautiful. Now over here we got the horses, so it's a decent trade-off, minus the weather, of course. But we can't have this realm. We can't have this realm the way we're supposed to, where we just have relationships with these beautiful animals. Because I don't believe at all for one moment that deer used to be terrified of humans the way they are, and that animals used to behave the way that they do now. I believe we all used to get along in a much more symbiotic relationship, a much more cohesive environment, where you could be around animals and and they wouldn't have to be worried about being shot or killed or hunted. Because this whole idea of evolution is such a fucking joke. The cavemen and the Neanderthals and hunting and gathering, and none of it adds up to scrutiny. None of it adds up. We weren't once a little amoeba, then a tadpole, then a fish, and then a fish went into a land fish, and then a bear type creature and a rodent type creature into a monkey, and then we evolved for monkeys. Get the fuck out of here. For people to believe that, you have to be outside of your ever-loving mind. Outside of your mind to believe that you are an evolved ape. No. We used to live in a much different world, much higher up as well. A lot of what we see as valleys and where we live now is little ants amongst the mountains. Our level playing field used to be much, much higher. We live in the ruins of many resets, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And what's crazy to me is that people think we're becoming more and more advanced when it's not the case. What you're doing is becoming more and more controlled by technology. Everything that they give you as an advancement, as progress, is control. When actual progress has not happened for a long, long time. Human beings are actually devolving, in every sense of the word, devolving. To the point of, we ignore when we are told, as a collective, that every politician is a pedophile. They love to traffic children. We ignore the fact that they mention cannibalism. We ignore all of it. We ignore the fact that they are stealing everything and putting in place 24/7 surveillance, audio and visual. They're trying to put these OpenAI little cameras, their new product that people will run and buy, which will just map human behavior all day, every day. It's a crazy world we live in. It really is. There's not really a word for it, I don't believe. I mean, I mentioned my last video, absurd. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to say bye to these guys. Hope you guys enjoy your day here, and that asshole in the car doesn't come and bother you. But have a good day. Enjoy your food. I mean, God, guys are just eating and eating. But anyway, want to say bye? No? All right. Anyway, I'm going to start walking back toward my car. But, this is the world we're living in, where we can't just be. We can't just enjoy life. We watch the destruction of freedom every day. We watch the Greater Israeli Project unfold every day. We watch the destruction of Western civilization every day. The erasure of European genetics, once 30, 50% of the world, now down to 7 to 8% of the world. All the while, women of the West can't afford to have kids, and many of them have been brainwashed not to have kids, while our tax money goes to Israel so that we can pay the moms of Israel and also put money in the bank account for them and their children with our tax money so they can have as many children as possible. You think of the community in New Jersey that they're having 7, 8, 9, 10 kids. Isn't it interesting that there's one group of people in this entire world that you can't criticize? Excuse me. There's one group of people that you can't question historical events referring to them. There's one group of people on this earth that are thriving. One. Only one. While the rest of us, doesn't matter if you're European, Black, Asian, Hispanic, struggling in every single country. Yet there's one country and one birth rate thriving. Interesting how that works. I wonder if that's just by mere happenstance. It's unbelievable. Until people accept the truth of what we're dealing with and accept the truth that there's no such thing as God's chosen people, that God is in your heart, and it is your job to discover that voice and to live in harmony with it, to not cause harm to another sentient being, and outside of that, you have the right to live as you see fit. If you live in harmony with your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you respect the vessel that's carrying your spirit, you are living godly. If you believe in peace, you act peacefully. You don't support things that violate peace. You believe in freedom, you act accordingly. Until people do this, nothing's going to change. There has never been and there will never be a mass awakening. It has always been a small percentage of every generation that sees and cares about what's going on. That's a grim thing to know. That's a dark fact, no question, but it is the truth. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Just like the last video of the absurd, you have to live in spite of it. You have to find what makes you happy, where you feel at home, where you feel at peace, and live as much as you can in spite of all of this fucking evil that is taking over this realm. But I'll be excited to see where this year goes, you know. We're coming in on the 3rd month, and so much has happened in the first 2 months, it's ridiculous. And here we are with the start of a new war. Fucked up times. Anyway, as always, wherever you are, take care of yourself. If you have remained human over the years, and you live in harmony with your thoughts and emotions and actions, you don't support this system in any form or fashion, from the bottom of my heart, I am very grateful for you. My spirit sees your spirit. Until next time, take care of yourself. Never behind.